welcome to the BiG Scuba Podcast. Thanks for downloading. Time to get on board and let's go diving. Mind those ropes.
Hello, my name is David Mason and I am a recreational diver, a caver, a long-term listener of the BiG Scuba Podcast, and I'm here to talk to Ian and Gemma today about my scuba journey.
Hello and welcome back to the BiG Scuba Podcast. My name is Ian. I'm one of the co-hosts. This is episode 230. Welcome. And with me is...
Hello, my name is Gemma. I'm the other co-host. Welcome to the BiG Scuba Podcast.
Welcome back. Straight from the top, let me tell you, these episodes are sponsored by the lovely people at Net 90 because their service is...
It's beyond technical, so give them a look. The link's in the show notes. They cater for everything from recreational need right through to the serious tech divers. And they offer servicing of rebreathers, servicing dive computers, and you can put your order in now there's a new Shearwater Perdix 3 coming out, so you can pre-order it.
Yeah, very smart as well. Change the colours and do many wonderful and great things.
Yes,
so,
yeah.
They do actually look really quite fantastic, don't they? They look good.
Yeah, very good. And they're not just a recreational diver can use them as well as a tech diver as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can even wear them out when you go out for a meal and what have you, if you really, really want to, and pose and be seen as I am a diver, you know, without telling somebody you're a diver.
Without telling, yeah. Yeah, so this podcast is all about people connected to the watery world. So we talk to obviously scuba divers, people that have got stories to tell, whether they're a well-known diver or just passionate about their diving. We've spoken to people involved in space travel, like astronauts, magicians who do magic tricks underwater,
poets,
sculptors, artists,
photographers,
filmmakers.
Filmmakers. I was just about to say that one. Yeah.
So
many different types.
Yeah. So if you have got a story to tell, or you just want to say, you know, how much you love being in the water or on the water, then drop us a line. Or if you've got somebody you want to recommend, we'll reach out to you.
You can drop them in it as well. Yeah. I mean, you can volunteer them as well.
Yeah, and it's been really good recently. We've had quite a few people coming to us with recommendations or saying, talk to me. And,
that's right. Yeah, authors. In fact, you've got a book of somebody.
Yes, we did an interview with Nicholas Harvey, who is a self-published author, and he kindly sent us a few of his books. There's a series. It's all about a character called AJ Bailey, and you follow her travels around. I think she's a diving instructor. So this is book one. So I'm going to get my teeth into it at some point. And
no, you're not meant to bite them, Jerry. You're meant to read them. They're not food.
Yeah. So that is, if you're going out on your holidays, look these up. The link to our Amazon bookstore is in the show notes, and they're reasonably priced. I think they're about £10 each. So
it's not bad, is it?
Not too bad. Yeah. So there we go.
Too at that sort of price.
12 Mile Bank is the first one.
Brilliant. Excellent. Thanks for that. So look out for that episode coming out in a couple of weeks. But we're right now talking about this episode, which is 230. And we have got a guest who we actually met a long while ago. And he's been an avid listener all the time. And it's been great. We've met him on and off the dive boat a few times since.
Yes, at the Go Diving show, we've met him, haven't we?
Yeah. And it's always been good to catch up with him and have a chat with him. Mr. Mason.
Yeah,
come on down.
Dave Mason, and he's also known on Instagram as the Cave Crawler. So he started out as a dry caver and he's progressed to a diver. So yeah,
he likes a muddy sump, does that boy?
He does. So yeah, have a listen. That's what's coming up next. But we've got a few things just to that have been happening in the news.
Yeah, it's been quite a busy one actually. You know, we last recorded a couple of weeks ago. We dived. When did we last dive?
Middle of June.
Yeah, it was back then, wasn't it? And I've been full of hay fever ever since, which is always great this time of year. And But we're hopefully should be back in the water next week or so with a bit of luck, all being well.
Clear those nasal passages.
Don't I know? You want to be a gardener, hey? Anyway, right. So in the news, I've seen this in the last couple of weeks. I see our friend Tom down at O3. He's been busying himself on a JJ CCR. Mod 1.
He's done his mod 1, and he actually did it with his employer, Marcus Darla.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
With the Thomas.
Yeah, so moving over to the dark side, as they say.
As they say. Well, they seem to say that a lot, though. With like, somebody said that to me about Sideman. And so I thought that was rebreathing was meant to be the dark side.
Yeah, well, it's good. As he's trying something different. So hopefully we'll see him, progress through his rebreather journey.
Yeah, sounds like other previous guests, Rob Thomas was the instructor, and also guidance by Michael Thomas as well. So
got the full set there.
Yeah.
We've seen the dive season in North Norfolk off our local coast. That's really got into the swing of things.
And before just as it got started, the winds came and changed it all again.
Suddenly, westerly winds. I think it comes. Yeah, when I was on the beach yesterday, the water's looking pretty murky. So they've been out and about. And another previous guest, Chris Taylor.
Yeah,
he's very much into snorkeling on the North Norfolk coast and photography and videography, and he's done some amazing posts just recently, hasn't he? He's been in the Sheringham Gullies, Sheringham Snorkel Trail. It's full of life, lobsters, all different types of fish,
cuttlefish as well. I was like, so what's it, cuttlefish? I've still not seen one yet.
No. Well, holding on to the Farne Islands, see what we can see.
They're better at swimming than me. That's the trouble. And they see you coming and they're gone. Aren't they?
Yeah.
Gone.
Yeah. So, what else have we?
I saw so somebody from SSI. They've been doing a. Let me just put my helpers on so I can read my phone. Massive congratulations to Eleanor Stewart, who during her Bikini Atoll trip completed her SSI International XR CCR Technical Extended Range Trimix. How cool is that?
Very good.
So well done to them. And done on the master liveaboards with Dirty Dozen Expedition. So really good. And that was the instructor, Adam Wood. So give shout out to all them. Well done.
And talking of, we ought to give Matt Rivet a shout out as well.
Now, why do we need to give Matt Rivet a shout out?
Well, he's been in Malta.
What's he done now?
He did his deep tech on Rebreather. I was just trying to find the post, but he posted about it with Scott Laddyman.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's an achievement.
He is my instructor, so he knows I'm only winding him up. Well done, Matt.
Yeah, and I hope the diving was great in Malta as well. Looked amazing. Yeah,
I
think they did some deep dives, 55 meters.
So. Yeah, deep stuff.
Yeah, but amazing wrecks out there as well.
Yeah.
Apex, they put a news flash up.
It's a recall out.
Yeah, so it's on Apex Regs. I've actually got a set, the XL4s, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, the more recent regs that were made last year, this year. So you just need to check the serial numbers.
It's on excuse me. It's on Apex XL4, XL4 Plus, and OCEA second stages and octopuses. If you own one of these products, please stop using it immediately and check whether it's the serial number that falls within the affected range, which is 250402212 to 260402893 inclusive. I'll give you those numbers again. So it's if you are diving with Apex regulators, which are XL4, XL4 Plus, and the OCEA second stages, right? Check your serial numbers. So if your serial number falls within 250402212 to 260402893 inclusive, you need to get in contact with Apex or at least your dive center.
Yeah,
and that'll give you more information. because there's obviously an issue there and that needs to be sorted out.
Yeah, and also it's always a reminder just to make sure you have your regs serviced regularly as well.
Yes.
It's just important.
Not just your regs, though. BCD, get that checked, get it done. Make sure clean it all out and things like that. Make sure that's all working. Dry suit, get that regularly serviced at least once a year. And Apex regulators.
Yes, and make sure your tanks are in test, because there's nothing worse rocking up at a dive site and they won't fill your tank up.
Yeah, always check your kit.
Yeah, exactly. Check your equipment. Yes.
Absolutely. What else I saw?
Lundy Diving they had their annual Andrew Bengi Memorial Day. I think that was the 25th of June. So
yeah, big day for them. Bless them.
Sorry, 23rd of June. But yeah, they celebrate it, and they take it's a charity, so they take children on the boat and head out over to Lundy. It's the Seafall charity. Yeah, so we'll put a link to that in the show notes as well.
Okay. Dan Veerhoffen has been announced as being a speaker at Dive and Talks in Portugal later this year. It happens in October. There's usually several speakers announced over the course of the summer. So so Dan Veerhoffen, we're not actually ever spoke to him. We spoke to his partner, haven't we?
Yes, yeah. So he's an amazing free diver and again photographer, underwater photographer. So
Dan, based down in Cornwall.
Yeah, well, maybe have to get him on soon.
Be nice to get down there at some stage, wouldn't it? But for us to go down there, it's really like a week, isn't it? Like a week trip.
Yeah. It's a good 8-9 hour driving trip, isn't it? Roads are not overly great either. So, and we also want to congratulate Scoobs, who runs Divers Time at Spring Lakes. He is the UK ambassador for Cressy. So he's been obviously loyal to Cressy. He's got a lot of their kit in the dive shop and dives in dry suit, wetsuit. Yeah, so and they look.
Yeah, got really snazzy semi-dry suit there as well.
Yeah, gear looks really smart. So yes, he got nominated and celebrated as the UK ambassador.
Yeah, well played. Because at the end of the day, him and the whole team are putting a lot of time and effort into getting that lake going and getting everything into one spot. And it's a big commitment, not just on money, but also on time and effort and everything. And it's good that companies like Cressy are getting behind them.
Yes, yeah. So and it's ups their profile again, which is always good for a new dive centre.
At the end of the day, you get someone going to set up business in the diving world in this financial climate. That takes a big, it's a big ask.
Yeah.
A lot of effort and risk, and so any help they can get from companies, definitely do it.
Yeah.
So well done to them.
Yes. So and also just to say thank you to Narked at 90. We've got more slap straps that have come along in the post. So when we're on a dive site, we'll have the box of slap straps out. So help yourself, leave your name, and we'll give you a shout out on the podcast. But yeah, we're all replenished. So thank you to Narked at 90.
Good. We hand some of them out. It was Sunglasses Day, I noticed.
In the week.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we have a link up with Waterhaul, don't we? Who make all their sunglasses out of reclaimed fishing gear and things like that, and nets and ghost nets and stuff.
Yeah.
So look out for our links to that, how you can make a saving.
Yes, yeah. So I think you get a 15% discount using our code. So the sunglasses, you can get prescription frames and litter picking equipment. And I think the most recent thing that we've found really useful is a 52-litre plastic box. And it's great for putting your dive kit in if you're transporting it in the car, or as we've used it, fill it up with water.
Yeah, they stack as well. So yeah, brilliant. Good old tubs then.
Yeah, and reasonable. I think it's only about £30 odd. So use our code and you get more discount. But yeah, definitely good thing to put in.
We save people money by just listening to this podcast, which is pretty amazing. Isn't it?
Yeah,
we should charge.
We should, yeah. And thank you to everybody that's ordered from Circular & Co. So we teamed up with them quite recently. They make reusable stainless steel water bottles and also coffee cups. And they're all made out of recycled material, from anything from fishing gear to bubble gum, trainers. So and they're all really bright colours and make a great gift.
They are actually quite popular, aren't they? It's really, which is good. Yeah, that's excellent. And we also wanted to say a big happy 250th anniversary to our American friends who listen to us all the way over there in America. So that's their 250th anniversary of independence. How about that?
Yes, congratulations and happy anniversary.
Thanks for kicking us out of the country.
And thank you for listening.
I think coming up this week, between now and our next recording, we've got some other things coming up as well, isn't there?
Yeah, there are different days that we always try and post about on our social media, so keep a lookout. So coming up, we've got Shark Awareness Day, and on the same day, it's World Orca Day as well.
All right.
And then we've got Arctic Sea Ice Day.
I see Steve Backshaw's, he was sharing, I think yesterday, I believe, he was chasing orcas. Watching orcas.
Yeah, but they're all relevant to us water lovers and divers. Arctic Sea Ice Day is obviously, important with rising sea levels.
Yeah.
And then on the 18th of July, we've got Paddy Women's Dive Day, which is an annual event.
That just seems to come around so quick, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it does. So
we probably need to do something, another one on that actually, because we usually do a thing over for that, all the women that we spoke to.
Yeah, well, we've got a template set up, so we just keep adding to it.
But we spoke to quite a lot more female guests who dive, so who we can add to that.
Add to the list, yeah. World Population Day coming up as well. But keep an eye on our social media, because we're posting about our adventures with the Auto Trail.
Oh yeah. As we've hashed our website, which has now got more stuff on there about the Auto Trail, particularly the XL620G and the Expedition 68XL. One's a camper, one's a motorhome, one's a camper van, both really good vehicles, and both on their website. So if you go to our website, there's photos, there's information and links.
Yes, yeah, and the Expedition 68XL has got a massive garage, so really useful for people like adventure sports, divers. You can get all your kit in there really easily, and it's really accessible as well with pull-out trays. So
it looks smart as well.
Yeah, if you're looking for a camper van to support your adventures, then that's the perfect vehicle, I'd say.
Yeah, it is nice and big. If you're going to have one, get a big one. That's what I say.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So that's everything that we've got coming up, and as we say, we'll be in the water in the coming week or so. And
I'm hoping to. Don't know when. I need to speak to Matt and Scott. So I've not, as they've been away, as we mentioned, I've not done anything on the side mount side of things for last couple of weeks, but hopefully we'll be picking that up once they get back. I think my next stage thing is I've got to try on kit with Matt, harness, tank, stuff like that, because at some stage I need to buy stuff myself. So which will be good. And I think most of this stuff is X deep, I believe. So we'll have a look at that. So that's the next stage one night once they all get back off the holidays. Sounds like they had a fantastic time.
Yeah. And we've got our Farns trip fast approaching at the end of July.
The annual pilgrimage to the Farns. Look forward to that.
Yeah. So just everything's going so fast. Time is just whizzing by. It's just crazy. This time of year, it just flashes by.
It does. Right. So talking about time, should we get our guest on?
Yes. So this is Dave Mason. He is known as the Cave Crawler, and he's going to tell us about his scuba journey.
Hey, excellent.
Welcome to the Big Scuba Podcast.
Hello, good to see you both.
Good to have you on. As you say, we know you've been out there listening away, and we've met you a few times over the course of the last few years. And Roger the cabin boy. Let's shout out to him.
Absolutely.
And we want to, start you with the first question, as we always like to do. What does being under the water mean to you?
Scuba diving is just amazing for me. It's such a relaxing sport. I literally find that, as soon as you've done that giant stride in and you kind of start to descend the shot line or whatever it might be, with every breath that you breathe out, I just find that I tend to relax more and more and more with it. And, it's just such an amazing world underwater. I've got big interest in all of the natural history, the marine life that I see around me. But also when we're diving wrecks and things like that, I love understanding about how the wreck got there and the history behind it and so on and so forth. So, yeah, I think I've said before, it's for me, it's not just an interest or a hobby now, it's an obsession. And it's just kind of all I think about, really.
It is pretty cool that we live in a period of time where we have easy to get to resources to look up a history of a ship, a boat, whatever, and we can research it, look it up, even see photographs of it in its prime, and then go dive it and see it at the bottom as a wreck. That's pretty cool that we're able to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I've always been inquisitive by nature, really. I want to understand more about what I see or what I'm experiencing. And it's funny you should say that, because recently we've just dived the SS Benedict.
I was going to wonder how you pronounce that.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm not pronouncing it right, but I'm not doing it justice.
That's how I would pronounce it.
Yeah. So we've recently dived that wreck, and previously have dived the Alina R. And it was only when I was looking at the history there that I found that actually both boats were sunk by the same U-boat.
No way.
Or two, yeah. So U-26 was laid mines off the coast of Portland. It actually took out 3 boats on that set of mines that it laid: the Alina R, the Benedict, and the Alex Van Opstal as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that's now one on the list that I think, cool, I'd like to go and dive that, really, and just to complete that. So yeah, it's really interesting, as you say. So easy to get to the detail and understand more about it these days with the internet and the information you can get on it. So yeah, I'm just not happy with jumping in and diving a wreck and looking at the rusty stuff, as some people call it. I want to understand the story about how it got there.
This episode is brought to you by Narked at 90, the cutting-edge pioneers in the world of diving equipment. Meet the founders, John Routley and Brent Hudson, who have logged thousands of mixed gas dives over the past 3 decades. About 20 years ago, these experienced technical divers combined their passion for diving and engineering skills to create Narked at 90. Whether you're new to diving and ready to take it up a notch, have a fair amount of experience, or are considering a transition into technical diving, we highly recommend Narked at 90. They're ready to advise on the best equipment and setup for your personal and commercial needs. Narked at 90 also has extensive hands-on experience with shearwater and ratio dive computers, being the longest-serving UK service centre for these brands. They're ready to offer technical support, servicing, repairs and upgrades for all shearwater and ratio computers, past and present. In addition to shearwater and ratio, Narked at 90 stocks and supports many other brands, such as DiveSoft, JJCCR, Hollis, Revo and Kiss rebreathers. The diving community is always enthusiastic about Narked at 90, and it's easy to see why. Here are just a few reasons. Full head servicing for rebreathers from various manufacturers, bespoke cable assemblies, advice on specific fitting requirements, suggestions and guidance for home builds, computer laser cutting and engraving, CNC milling and turning, pressure testing to simulate 400-metre dives. We're thrilled to partner with Narked at 90, a company that has ignited so much passion for diving and has been incredibly supportive and innovative in producing and selling dive equipment. Visit narkedat90.com to see why they're a renowned name in diving. Stay updated on their insights and offers by following them on social media. Just search for Narked at 90 on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram and hit that follow button.
Well, you've made the crossover, because usually when we talk to cavers, and you as a caver first, cavers usually stick with wet rocks, don't go to rusty stuff. And you've done the cross, so you're an interesting guy to chat to in the pub.
Yeah, absolutely. It might be controversial. I know there's many Mendip cavers who love the cave diving side of things, but I've caved many of the Mendip caves, and honestly don't have much of a desire to try and dive.
So let's take us back to the start. What got you? What got you into rocks?
Yeah. So it was one of those strange things, really. It was just a hobby or something I always wanted to try when I was younger, and even in my teenage years, I just knew it was something that I'd enjoy. Family
into it?
No, I knew nobody into it whatsoever.
Okay.
And I was probably in my early 20s, and I just started work, etc., and got a car, as you do, and I thought, right, I want to give this a go. So I actually went down with a group of friends. I arranged a trip actually to Cheddar Show Caves, to their adventure caving, as they called it then, to give it a go.
Yeah.
So we kind of went into Cheddar, went off the beaten track, and having donned our boiler suits and the helmets and lights, etc., and went and did that for a day. Thoroughly enjoyed it. There was some who enjoyed it more than others, and a group of us were talking in the pub afterward and said, "Hey, why don't we do a bit more of this? Try and just get into it a bit more." So I then made contact with a company based down in Mendip. In fact, the guy who ran it was a Mendip caving group member, and we ended up then doing a 6-week course, if you like, on caving, an introduction to caving. And we'd go once a week on a Thursday night and do various caves around Mendip. And
so just be clear, we're talking dry caving. No diving involved at all.
No diving involved. This is all dry caving. We do go through ducks, with limited airspace, or even free dive some of the sumps, the shorter sumps anyway, as we progressed on. But yeah, we started with this caving course. We learned basic rope skills, how to rig a ladder, lifeline, tie the knots that you needed to, etc., so that we could go further.
So like abseiling and all that kind of thing in the caves.
That kind of came a bit later. It was initially the rope and ladder kind of stuff, really. And we gradually bought our own kit and then started to explore the caves further and further ourselves. And it's one of those things, really, that we started to again get some literature, get some books, look at some surveys, and we started to see this, the scale of what was available for us to explore on Mendip, and decided that was something we wanted to do. So we ended up joining the Wessex Cave Club, sort of long-term members with the Wessex, and they're ideally placed right in Priddy, walking distance of Swildon's Hole, Eastwater Cavern, and a number of other caves. And you got the benefits then of joining the club, like access to additional kit, keys to many of the locked caves that are on Mendip, because many are open but some are locked. Access is controlled.
Okay.
And we went on from there, really. So Swildon's Hole is always a favorite, and probably one that many cavers will know and understand. But we've initially started exploring what they call the upper series of the cave, and you could you can easily get 2-hour trip out of, just the upper series. But it was when we went into the clubhouse and we then started to look at the surveys and realized we were just scratching the surface, really. There's 10 kilometers of cave to explore.
Wow.
And what sort of depth do you, as a dry caver, do you monitor your depth underground, or do you have any measure?
No, there's nothing you can carry, not like a dive computer, for example, that tells you your depth. It's really about understanding the surveys that have been drawn previously, which are pretty three-dimensional these days. They're very accurate, so they'll sort of give you the depth, etc. And they're not hugely deep. I think from memory, Swilden's 120 plus, I think, maybe. It's a really interesting cave. It's a lot of history, been explored since the early 1900s. And in fact, actually linking it to diving was the birthplace of the cave diving group, actually. Yeah, so someone held up the exploration of the cave for quite some time. There was a couple of sort of pioneers, really, in the group. Graham Balcombe, Jack Shepherd, who spent a lot of time at someone trying to break through it to get to the other side, etc., with homemade kit, actually.
How do you mean break through to the other side? What, with hammers and stuff?
Well, there was, they did actually, because the ceiling does lower. It just literally comes down to this puddle. It's like a puddle. It probably is only, I don't know, 18 inches deep, maybe maximum, something like that. But it barred the way. We're talking early probably around 1930s, something like that. And they were, obviously caving kit was quite crude back then. Not the thermals and everything that we have these days. So there were lots of woolly jumpers and coats and things like that. And and it did hold up kind of exploration for quite some time. And they even used explosives to try and take out the lower, the roof. There is a story actually of a Sunday morning, and when they did set off an explosion in the cave, and apparently it could be heard in the church above on Sunday morning mass.
No.
So yeah, that's
the second coming.
Yeah. So it's so that's an old Mendip story, but I mean they eventually obviously created some crude cave diving kit, homemade dry suit, etc. And I believe the air system was pumped by almost like a bicycle pump type thing, and on a pipe. And they eventually passed the cave. And actually, the ironic thing is whilst it held them up for a number of years, the sump is probably only 6 or 8 feet long, and it is free diveable, and it's one that we free dive today. There's rope through it, and you just hold your breath and duck under and come up the other side. So yeah, and then it opens up Swilden's 2 and also the cave beyond there. They're down to some 12 now, and it's a known link with Wookey Hole as well. So
is it?
Yeah. So the challenge is to try and obviously link the 2 caves. But it's an amazing place, an incredible place. We've spent many happy hours underground there. But yeah, as I say, we then kind of progressed on as we got more skilled at what we did. We learned, to Gemma's earlier point, we then learned and got some tuition in what they call SRT, or single rope techniques. So to allow us to negotiate pitches, so drops in the cave. And it means then you don't have to carry the bulk of a ladder. So you would abseil in on a single rope. Unlike climbers who tend to use 2 ropes, you'll see them lifelining with 2 ropes. Cavers will obviously try and keep the bulk down as much as possible. So we'll abseil in on 1 rope, but then to come back out, obviously you've got to come back up that 1 rope. So you have specialist equipment on the harnesses, and we Prusik back up the ropes. So it's a bit like you might have seen tree surgeons on the TV trying to get up ropes. So it's not too dissimilar techniques to that. So you'd have a foot loop that you'd sort of stand in, and as you rise up the rope, there's a jammer on the chest harness that then locks in. You sit back down and then frog walk basically up the ropes. So
is it quite physically demanding, caving?
Yeah. Yes, it is. Yeah, it's amazing really when I look back. I'm a bit older these days. When I look back at just how fit we were as a group with some of the trips that we were undertaking later on. And I mean, you learn how to move in a cave. I know it sounds crazy, but how to be efficient in the way you move, and keep your center of gravity fairly low, and move work all your limbs to move efficiently and quickly. Actually, and you get super fit.
We did Wiki Hole, and I don't think my movement was that efficient. Some of the holes, there's a couple of them I had to back out again.
It was quite eye-opening though, because that was a
good.
physical feat. Yeah, it was. I loved it. But climbing up, metal ladders in the rock, and we abseiled as well. So it's not an easy walk in a cave. It was really a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's a fascinating sport, and of course you see loads of places that people just never ever get. Few people go to, and as I say, as we progressed and got better at our sport, of course we then wanted to travel a bit further afield. So we went into South Wales then and started to explore a lot of the caves in South Wales. So some of the bigger systems like Ogof Fanandu, OFD, Cave of the Black Spring, as I think it is the English name for it. And that's Wales' deepest cave, but it's a massive system. Yeah, it's huge.
How deep is that then?
I think it's 970 odd feet, something like that, just short of 1,000 feet deep.
Wow. Deep, wow.
Yeah, but about 60 kilometers in length of surveyed passage, I think.
It's incredible, isn't it? To imagine under the solid ground we walk on, there's all this underneath.
Yes, yeah. Well, you'll remember your previous guest, George.
Yes, yeah.
That's where he had his accident.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
In OFD. So I mean, there's a number of through trips that you can do there. There's a great caving cottage, South Wales Caving Club Cottage, White Walls, which is halfway down the mountain, if you like. And there's a number of through trips you can do. There's an entrance in the quarry just behind the cave, Cwm Dor, as they call it. There's an entrance on the top of the mountain, and that's the through trip that we'd often do, is from the top through to back out through Cwm Dor. But then there's a lower entrance then, which I think is more sort of divers, if you like, in the lower part of the stream. But yeah, that's a huge system, and you'd happily spend sort of 5-6 hours underground there, exploring, etc. And some of the passage is huge. We also did Ogof Drynham, which is the longest cave. I think that's nearer, somebody will correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's nearer 90 kilometers of passage.
Wow.
Yeah, it's huge. Aganawed, and then quite a few of the caves along the Ystrafelt. Again, my Welsh isn't great, so please don't crucify me if I say this wrong. But quite a lot of caves along the valley there, and some really interesting stuff to explore there. Town Drain, Bridge Cave, Little Neath River Cave is actually one that again a lot of cavers might know, because the entrance is actually in the stream bed.
Okay.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. You crawl into quite a narrow entrance, and you become the plug. So basically, the water then starts to back up behind you, and
no way.
Suddenly you go through, and it pushes you through. So it's quite incredible. Yeah.
So what links you as a dry caver to scuba diving?
Yeah, so a bit like the caving, really, scuba is something that I've always wanted to do from a very young age, and again didn't know anybody who actually dived. so that nobody to kind of take you under your wing, if you like, to show you the ropes, etc., or ask for some advice. I didn't know anybody who did it. And as a kid, we were given snorkels and stuff when we went away on holiday, and used to spend hours underwater, chasing the fish, etc. And just again, something I knew that I always wanted to do. A number of years ago, back in 2009, actually, I was taken ill, had a bit of a shock really with my health. We were due to do actually some big cave-in trips up in Derbyshire, etc. Had it all planned, and then 2 weeks before we were due to go, my appendix burst. Unexpectedly. And of course, I was then taken into to have it and have some surgery, etc. And basically, when they went in to do the surgery, they found something suspicious that they didn't expect to find. And I was later diagnosed with a rare cancer called pseudomyxoma peritonei, which is or PMP for short, which was, at the time I was diagnosed, was really rare. Basically, one person per million per annum would get diagnosed with this condition. So it was quite a shock. I then got referred to a specialist centre in Basingstoke who dealt with the condition. There are only two in the UK, Basingstoke and a hospital, the Christie up in Manchester. And I then underwent major surgery then to have the pseudomyxoma removed, etc., along with quite a number of organs. There was 7 or 8 major organs that were removed at the time as well. So it was a 12-hour surgery, and then a week in intensive care afterwards as well. So it was quite a big undertaking. Yeah, big operation. And then again, I was re-diagnosed in 2012 after that with a reoccurrence. So was had to go through it all again, although a slightly smaller operation, just 6 hours around. But yeah, and it's been something that I've been kind of dealing with since, really. But yeah, it was after that I thought, obviously the diving is something that I've always wanted to do, and a bit like the caving, I didn't know anybody at the time who would who dived, but it was a case of, right, how do I make this happen? So it was a case of then, right, ring a few of the local dive clubs, etc., dive centres locally, and see if I can find out a bit more about it. And I was really lucky that I met a great instructor and his wife, who ran a club, a dive school locally, actually very locally to me. Hello, Mark and Vicky, if you're listening.
What was a dive club called?
So they're Dreamscape Divers.
Dreamscape,
yeah. So they're literally based just around the corner from me, which was really useful because the pool was literally 5 minutes up the road as well. So this was, I think we were on a very similar timeline, Gemma, because it was just before lockdown.
Yes, I started qualified in July 2020.
Yeah. So as I say, I was super lucky in that Mark and Vicky were willing to give me a go with my history of, my health history with, having cancer, having a rare cancer. Obviously, they asked me to go get checked by an HSE dive doctor, and they did the introductions and everything. And he was also really, really good because, with it being so rare, he'd not come across the condition previously and had to go away and do some research and talk to my consultants, etc., before ultimately signing me off, etc., which he did, which was great, which I'm really grateful to all of them, because they've been able to let me take up this amazing sport and and thoroughly enjoy it. So I was really lucky. But we joke actually that obviously I started the pool sessions and then everything locked down, so we joke it was probably the longest open water course run in history, because I'd done my confined water dives and everything locked down, and that was it.
Wow.
Yeah. So when did you do your open water? Was that 2020 sometime?
2020, yeah. I think it was when things started to open up. Then, I was then able to jump in at Vobster, and did my open water dives at Vobster, and I knew then instantly I was hooked. I knew it was something. It was kind of a foregone conclusion before I even started, if I'm honest. But I'd already, even going through the open water course, started to buy basic bits of kit that I think, your own mask for a set of fins, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it kind of went from there then. So I then followed up, probably continued to dive as probably at least once a month after that, but then followed up probably a year later, I think it was, with the advanced open water and dry suit course. I wanted to get the dry suit done as well, so I could dive right through the winter and dive all year round. And then ultimately, I'd done my nitrox, and then ultimately the rescue course as well. So yeah. So but like I say, a similar trajectory, I think, in terms of our journey, Gemma.
Yeah, I think you're just a bit closer to the coast, aren't you? So you've got the south coast, which you're very lucky. Yeah. So it does give, we say to so many guests, on the east coast where we are is a very short window of diving on. We've got the inland sites, but you on the south coast, you're really blessed with pretty much all year round diving, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm where I'm placed, I'm really lucky because I've got Vobster, as I say, about a 40-minute drive away. Or if I get a half hour in the other direction, I've also got the lake at Cromwell.
Oh yeah.
Southwest Maritime Academy. So the House Reef, as we call it. So we're really close.
Yeah. So are you logging all your dives still? And
absolutely. Yeah, all my dives are logged. It's good to keep that record. I know quite a few people who get to maybe a couple of hundred or more and then seem to stop logging them, etc. But yeah, I've continued to log all of my dives.
It's good. Yeah, it's good too, isn't
it? Yeah, I think it's a good reference. It's good to go back and look at the kit and what we've done. So probably, I think I'm a bit like you guys, really, in that as soon as the water's warm enough, I'll hang the dry suit up and get the semi-dry out then.
Oh yeah.
It's just,
I much prefer that.
Yeah. Well, it's so much easier, you can drop so much lead, which makes it, so much easier for getting in and out of the water, etc.
Yeah.
So what kit are you using? Are you O3?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's a godsend. I mean, I started with a slightly cheaper, should we say, option, but it was great. Kept me going for a few years. But yeah, I've now got the O3 RI 2100 Flex, with the cubies on as well. It's just game changer. Absolutely love it,
especially winter time.
Yeah, it's
cozy.
Yeah, it's a fantastic bit of kit, and who knew dry suits can actually keep you dry?
Yes, that is the idea. Mine still leaks a bit.
Does it?
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah. I have sent it to O3 a couple of times but still leaks through the cuff dump and through the wrist sometimes.
Yeah.
No, not a huge amount, but a little bit.
Yeah. No, it's an amazing bit of kit. It's been, fantastic since I've had it, and the cubies as well make a big difference because, of course, you put that seal over the wrists as well, so that's one less place.
So, what level are you at then?
So I'm rescue diver.
Okay.
Yeah, rescue diver. Like I say, I've got my nitrox as well. Not done hundreds and hundreds of diving, about 135, 140 now, something like that.
Okay.
So yeah, it's not loads, but I'd say I'm comfortable now. I feel I've got my kit squared away now, and much more comfortable underwater. Always cautious, because always conscious that often when you get comfortable, if you're not careful, you get complacent.
Yeah.
So it's always, and that's probably my caving background as well.
Yes, wise.
Yeah.
With that mindset.
Yeah, and not adding different kit too soon as well. That's another thing I think people do, and you've got too much to think about then. And I think we've been guilty of it. Taking cameras, and then it just takes your focus off other things, and you're really there to enjoy the diving, not to faff with things that you think you need underwater. And I think it's back to basics is probably the best way.
Yeah.
And then, you can add things as you feel more and more comfortable. Is there
anything you want to learn?
I've been umming and ahhing about doing my DM.
Yeah. Why?
Yeah.
What's putting you off?
I didn't say there's anything putting me off at this stage.
Yeah.
Because clearly what I'd like to do is advance my diving skills, become the best diver I can be. I think it's good for that. But you're of course it's then about bringing other people through and helping to teach people to dive and introducing them to it, which would be a great sort of side of things. But I guess again, with my health condition at the moment, it's kind of a year by year. I have to have a yearly checkup.
Just take it 1 year at a time.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the way to do it, because obviously it's to keep active as well. The DM is quite a commitment, isn't it? So you've got your insurance that you need to pay. You've got your PADI certification that you've got to renew each year to keep that going.
Well, the insurance Crystal Seas take care of. For the dive centre takes care of. I don't have to worry about that, although you can take your own personal insurance out. But the main thing is then keeping active and getting involved. But I totally recommend it. If you feel like that's something you want to do, I would do it definitely. I think that's a great. And I know a few instructors who kind of thought they probably should have stayed as a DM. And it's nothing to take any way with the instructors. It's the fact that the dive master role is a really nice role to have, and I think it's a really good stepping stone for a lot of divers to take. So I would definitely recommend it.
In your caving world, did you do tuition to other less experienced people?
It's less structured really with caving. So absolutely, we used to take people out, new people quite regularly, introduced quite a number of people actually over the years to caving, got them involved in it and got them interested. It's one of those activities. We used to run a work trip every now and then if there was people who decided they wanted to do it, and we've done stuff like that. But it's a lot less structured. It's just kind of come along, give it a go kind of thing. So but I mean, I think with all my certs, one of the things that I've done is not kind of rushed into doing them. Not do the 0 to hero thing, because I don't think that benefits anybody. I think it's about getting.
You're about right with the dives. They said, I remember a few people said to me, don't go for DM till you've done about 100 dives and rescue. And but the first place to call to check is your dive center. The people who know you from diving, and not just you personally, but of anyone who's listening, who's thinking about doing the role, is speak to the dive center and say, hey, do you think I'm ready? I've done this, done that, done rescue. Really enjoyed the rescue, because the rescue's like that stepping stone. Because the rescue course is that first step of thinking about other people rather than just yourself. It's that transition of going, right, okay, what are they doing, how they, and are they okay, rather than just yourself. And the DM role, just like a little bit of an extension from that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And actually already had the conversations with, the guys I dive with, the instructor, etc. They're kind of happy to do it. They think
that's what I say, do it.
Yeah, so it's something I've just got to try and crack on and do, really.
Yeah.
But you can take your time, can't you? There's exactly. You can go as fast as you want, and what you're, we've all got day jobs and life.
Yeah.
It's just.
I'm going to say yeah and no. I've known people who took ages to do it, and I kind of think sometimes you kind of lose the your way if you aren't careful. For me personally, I set myself a time, and that at the time was by the end of the year, and I think I started about June.
Yeah,
and I said, right, by the end of this year, I want to be certified, because you don't always get there's a lot of things you have to pass. So there's a lot of things you've got to do. I went and took some swimming lessons because I've never done, there's part of the certificate, you've got to be able to swim certain distances and stuff like that, which I can't remember off the top of my head. And I wanted to be better at swimming.
Yeah.
So I went and got some swimming lessons, so I make sure I could get the swimming right in the time, because it all goes towards your certification at the end of the day. And I wanted to allow myself 6 months to get through it and fit and pass it. So then that way, next year, I can take part of it.
Yeah.
So you're right, take some time, but I would kind of set yourself a goal.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, I get it. And I think, once I commit, I'll be kind of laser focused on doing it and kind of getting it over the line then. It's just getting going, as you say, at the moment. And I need to do it, really. I just need to crack on and do it. And
I think you enjoy it. I really do.
Yeah. I know. I know I will. It's like I say, I always, want to be the best diver I can be, kind of always critically looking at the, what each dive almost, and I guess that's the work ethic, that the logistics guy that, that's what I do for work during the day. So, you're always, having completed a project, you always look back and say, right, what could we have done better? What went well? What didn't go well? And it's kind of take that mentality into the diving as well. What went well on the dive? What didn't go so well on the dive? What can we do better next time? And I think that works quite well. So always looking to be the best I can be, really.
We'll follow your journey and see where you go over the coming sort of year or so. So diving wise, you've obviously got the access to the South Coast, but you have dived abroad as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so spend a lot, like say in the UK, spend a lot of time on the South Coast exploring the various wrecks, as well as shore dives. We've been out, done a couple of wrecks already this year. So Black Hawk, we did the bow of the Black Hawk, and then drift dive.
I've not heard of that one.
Yeah, so that's in Warbarrow Bay. And again, it was a Liberty ship that was hit a mine. And the back end of the ship basically lies at about 40 meters because it sunk where it struck the mine. But amazingly, the front end of the ship remained afloat. So they tried to beach it and tow it, to beach it, which they managed to do. But it then became a shipping hazard, apparently. So it was then blown apart, I think, actually, to try and clear it, and then later further disturbed as there was some cables or pipe that needed to run through right where the wreck was, so it was further blown apart there. So you've got bits of wreckage all over the seabed, which has now formed kind of a artificial reef, if you like, and it's a lovely dive. It's a nice dive, and not too deep. It's about 18 meters, so it was a good.
These Liberty ships were quite lightly made, weren't they? Because I think there's a story of one being made in a day, weren't there, to prove a point at how quick they could put them together.
That's it. It's as soon as they did the deal, I think to get the Liberty ships into circulation, they were churning them out really quickly.
Banging them out.
Yeah. But yeah, it's amazing wreck, and 17, 18 meters. It's nice and light, plenty of life on it, so lots to enjoy.
That's amazing. Yeah.
But dived abroad now a couple of times. So I'm, again, it's on when we've taken family holidays, so take a day out to go and get some diving in. I've dived Tenerife, where we were really lucky to see some some butterfly rays, beautiful, big butterfly rays, and there were 2 or 3 of them kind of literally circling around us. It was absolutely fantastic. So
what sort of size would they?
They were probably 1.5 meters, 2 meters across the wings. Yeah, they're big, they're huge, and they tend to sleep in the sand. They bury themselves in the sand by day. And then sort of come out more so at night. But there was a group of I think it was about five divers on this one, and the butterfly rays actually did come out from the sand and start swimming around. So it was it was absolutely fantastic experience. So that was really good. 2 years ago now, we went to Cyprus. So I took the opportunity to dive the Zenobia.
Oh, nice.
Which was fantastic. That's the one thing I try and do, because like I say, family holiday, probably only going to get 1 day's diving in. So what's the best I can get whilst I'm there, really? that's the deal, really. What where can I get the best
deal?
Yeah. So 2 really good dives on the Zenobia. And I mean, blessed obviously with amazing sort of visibility. I know we initially dived the outside of the wreck, going in at the stern. So we took the propellers in, which is pretty iconic part of the wreck, really, and then along the row doors. And just as we were coming in between the 2 doors, there was a turtle on the one side, and that literally took off and headed off into the gloom. So that was just like fantastic. But then as you come around, then you come onto the sort of the deck where all the trucks were, and you've got all the trucks beneath you, kind of all piled up, and that was pretty eye-opening. But then the second dive, we actually penetrated the wreck and dived along the very top. Kind of, there's like a corridor that you go in along through the canteen and follow it along. And I had the camera. As you're probably aware, I'm quite keen on a bit of amateur photography and video making, etc. So I was lucky enough that the dive leader at the time had obviously spotted I've got the camera, and sort of said, well, you go first, you lead the way if you like. So I didn't, I could film properly.
Oh, wow.
I was able to lead the way right the way through. So so that was pretty special. But it's one of those wrecks that's so huge that you need several dives on it, really, to properly explore it. So that was fantastic. That was really good. Would thoroughly recommend that. And then more recently, we just come back from Lanzarote, and again was really lucky with the dive centre there. Took the camera with me, and the goal there really was to try and see some of the angel sharks.
Yeah.
Obviously critically endangered. Canary Islands really is one of the last remaining strongholds for them. So it was a good opportunity to go and see if we could find some angel sharks. And yes, we were lucky. We managed to find 2.
Yeah.
So it was great.
It's nice. The Canary Islands, they're accessible. They're, only a 4-hour flight. And, I was in Fuerteventura in March, and Caleta, again, even on the beach, because there were big rock pools, that was an angel shark nursery. And there was all the stuff, there telling you about the angel sharks, and, if you spotted any, you had to report it. And, it's good that, the islands, it's all about the conservation as well.
Absolutely. I mean, they're critically endangered, and in 2019 they were added to the Spanish endangered species list, so they actually now have full legal protection as well, which is fantastic. But
what's knocking their numbers then?
I think, like anything, I think it's habitat destruction. From what I've read, they don't have they don't have lots and lots of young.
Okay.
It's slow process, and the gestation time I think is quite slow, so it takes them, as the numbers are getting affected, it takes them longer to recover as well.
Okay.
And of course fishing as well. They accidentally get caught by catch, although like I say, being protected now, I certainly know that the Spanish fishermen, if they do happen to catch them, do record them, photograph them, obviously put them back, etc. But elsewhere around the world, I mean, the habitats are just under so much pressure. But I mean, they're incredibly well camouflaged. I mean, we'd spotted a stingray further up, and what I didn't realise was, until afterwards, we actually swam over an angel shark to get to this stingray that we could
see.
Yeah, and it was only when we circled back round, it's like, there's a shark.
Wow.
We do get them in this country, don't we? Because I think JD Scuba, he's a big advocate for angel shark conservation. Yeah,
absolutely. Off the coast of West Wales, I know he filmed one over there. Which is amazing, really. It's to think that they're coming out, and it's surprising once you start reading, about some of the marine life, actually what we do get around our shores that actually
get loads.
Don't realise. But I mean, wouldn't that be great to see one in the UK?
Yeah, but then as divers, that's such a privilege to see something so endangered as well, and you don't need to go halfway around the world to see it either. It's just
absolutely. So I mean, it's an amazing experience. So really lucky to have seen some, because normally, it's like you jump in with the camera after something specific, and normally as soon as you've got that camera, you ain't gonna see
everything's gone.
Yeah, absolutely.
So were you into photography before you started scuba diving, like in your caving world?
Yeah, again, I've always kind of had a bit of an interest in photography. I'm sort of by nature, I'm artistic, I suppose. So photography was always sort of there in the background. Back in the days when I first started caving, obviously we didn't have GoPros, we didn't have digital cameras or anything like that. And you remember the Kodak throwaway cameras?
Yes.
We used to get one of those, completely cover it in electrician's tape to try and keep the water out, and then take it underground with us. And
I was explaining to my kids a while back about how we used to take photos and then have to send them off to get
in a bag to true print.
True print, that's it. Remember true print?
Yeah, absolutely.
And the same time, like Blockbusters, I can't remember, was watching something. It's like, we used to do that. We used to go somewhere and hire a DVD or a video.
And the anticipation when the envelope arrived and you could look at the photos.
You used to get your
it was just so exciting.
You had 24 or 36 photos on a cartridge, and if you were lucky, about 10 came out, didn't it?
Yeah.
So it's always been a hobby of mine. So since I started diving, really, it was initially a GoPro, as probably most people do, and I still use the GoPro now. But then later on, wanted to get into stills, so I bought a compact. Not spent a load of money on a DSLR housing or anything like that, because that's really, really expensive. But wanted to start small, really. So I got the TG6 with the housing, camera tray that I can mount the GoPro on the top, then a couple of float arms, and then bought the backscatter mini flash 2 to go with it. And I've got an Orca Torch D710V video light sort of on the other arm, and that kind of does me.
Because our phones are really good camera. Like the camera on my iPhone, I've got an iPhone 16, I think it is, and that's more now that's higher tech than what our digital Sony is.
Yeah.
And the so clear, the clarity on that is brilliant.
Yeah. And of course you can get some really good housings for the phones as well these days.
Yeah.
Which are really good. Underwater it's all about the lighting really as well. And if you've got a good torch and you can get plenty of light into the picture, then you can get some really good results.
Yeah.
I mean, it's I really enjoy the sort of macro end of taking the photos. So the nudie branch, trying to hunt down nudie branch. It's that's always one of the challenges, see if we can see them. But once you get your eye in,
they're absolutely tiny, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Some of them not much bigger than a grain of rice. And I remember the first few trips we did, and I was just not seeing them. And then
I wouldn't have seen them until Kat showed us up at the farms, and she pointed one out to me. I'll be honest, I wouldn't have known what it is at all, and I didn't realise they were as small as that. That was tiny.
Yeah.
But it's good. It slows down your diving as well, doesn't it? You're not rushing about. You're literally
got to look for them shrimps.
Yeah, yeah. Your favourite, the shrimps.
Yes, I can't look forward to that this year.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And a favourite of mine for the nudie branch is Swanage Pier. It's just such a great dive.
It's a lovely dive there, and they look after you. Yeah, that's all nicely laid out, isn't it? You got a nice cafe there as well. The dive centre's friendly, for air fills.
Easy access, isn't it, to get in and out of the water? Yeah, I think that's definitely one of favourite places. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, I think it's not unusual to, like, say, put on the semi-dry in the summer and do an hour and 20-minute dive and barely dive a few hundred meters along the pier. Really, if you've got the camera, there's so much life there. The small wrasse. Then there's, like, say, various different types of nudie branch. Occasionally you get cuttlefish under there. And so on and so forth. Of course, the tom-pot blennies, can't forget the tom-pot blenny, so photogenic, and they'll just quite happily sit there to have their photos taken, etc. Yeah, it's fantastic dive. Yeah, absolutely love it.
Yeah, as we say, we're really lucky in the UK.
Honey like that there as well, didn't she?
Yeah. I think because it's just quite a chilled dive, isn't it? And you've got the structure, so your orientation is there, and then you can just explore all the nooks and crannies.
Not seen a cuttlefish. I'd like to see a cuttlefish.
Yeah, so I saw them. Funny enough, remember, I think it was back last year, we bumped into each other at Chesil. I think you guys arrived just to maybe look at diving it, and we by sheer coincidence had been down there diving it that day. So we saw cuttlefish there. We were really lucky that day as well. We jumped in, and literally no sooner we got in, we had John Dory in front of us as well, which was the first time I've seen John Dory.
Wow.
So that was really good. But I missed the octopus bloom last year, unfortunately.
Well, they're still there, aren't they?
Yeah.
Cornwall. Yeah, there's stacks of them because we're selling them for cooking. So it's like eating. Chefs love them.
Easy, we'll get complaints.
Double sucker octopus,
Are you going to cook it?
Yeah, we're selling 2 to 4 kilo octopus at the moment, double sucker octopus, and they're flying out the door, literally.
Oh, you're tempting all these complaints. We're going to start getting complaints.
But I'd love to see one underwater.
Best recipes for octopus on a card, please.
Char grill them.
If you're going to complain, Gemma said it, not me this time.
No, but seeing them in their own habitat would just be awesome. Yeah, because it's a hefty thing to see, isn't it? It's not.
Well, aren't we getting more of them, aren't we?
Yeah.
Well, but because the water's warming up, they're going to be, a native species to.
Did you see about the great white that's in the Mediterranean spotted?
Yeah, those divers were just on their ascent, was it? They're on their way back up.
15 foot.
Yeah.
Yeah, bottom of Italy, wasn't it? Somewhere, Italy, Sicily way. Yeah.
All these things are going to start coming up.
Yeah, Yeah, indeed. But yeah, unfortunately, I was out of the water for a couple of months last year because my wife had an operation. So, and typically that was when the octopus all seemed to be around. And then when I jumped back in again with the camera, we can find them.
Nowhere to be seen.
I think you'll be lucky this summer. I do. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. We've got a trip planned for the end of the month. So, if the weather conditions are good, then Chesil's definitely on the card. So, yeah. Hopefully get lucky. We'll get lucky.
I love it.
Yeah, just need some fair weather. Yeah, that's the main thing, isn't it? And no wind.
No, indeed.
It's fairly brown up here at the minute.
Is it still?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we'll be anyone in just yet.
And because we've had so much, we've had so much rain, it just washes off the land, and that makes it worse as well. And
yeah. Well, I'm seeing some still good reports, even down along the south coast at the moment, even with some of the wind that we've had, etc. Or maybe 2-3 meters which isn't cracking, but perhaps some of the quarries you go into this time of year, once that algae starts blooming, you probably don't get a great deal more than that anyway. So that with us being so close to the coast, we just always try and plan, if we can, to get down to the coast if the weather's right. That will be the first stop for us.
I don't think you'll ever beat that.
No.
As good as the lakes are, are, predominantly for training, aren't they? And I don't think you'll ever beat jumping in the sea, because you never know what you're going to see.
Exactly, yeah. And like I say, we're probably 2.5 hours from the coast at any time, really. So it doesn't take long to get down there, which is great. But yeah, I mean, obviously the quarries, the lakes absolutely have their place. We, through the winter months when the sea is blown out, we'll continue to dive at least once a month, go into the quarries. It's great skill. I'm a firm believer that scuba diving is a bit of a perishable skill. If you're out of the water for a long time, then you're not so hot on your buoyancy and all of those all of the skills. So it's good to stay on top of it. But
definitely,
come the spring, when we know that the boat season is going to start, then we start practicing the SMB launches and making sure everybody's comfortable with that, ready, that we know then we've got the skills honed, ready for when we jump out on the boat next. So
we found we heard of a new lake for us on Monday. We were interviewing somebody Monday evening, and Emma told us about a lake called Ellerton, wasn't it? Emma, Ellerton.
Yeah, Ellerton up near Newcastle way, wasn't it?
Yeah, never heard of that one before.
No, don't know that one.
No. So
it's amazing. You don't tend to hear about these places so much in the social media or the news necessarily.
It's amazing, isn't it? Yeah. Even we talk about spring lakes a lot, but there are a lot of people that have never heard of it, and that's like half an hour outside of Stony. Dudley Dolphins, they're just west of Birmingham, and that's Netherton Lake Reservoir. Again, not heard of it. Yeah.
Neames in Kent, near St Andrews Lake.
So
it's
amazing, these places that are around that, like say, just not perhaps getting the coverage that they need. So it's good to hear about them on things like this, on the Scuba Podcast, the BiG Scuba Podcast, because give them a bit of airtime. And
this is the place to hear about it and talk about.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it is surprising. You'd think you'd be shouting and raving about different places, and we say, why do you want to go to the same dive location? Every month, why? It's
well, I guess for some people there's a training thing, because there's risk assessments and stuff like that. So I totally understand that. But you got to mix it up, otherwise you just get to the same. Didn't it get boring if you're just seeing the same?
Yeah, if you're just recreational,
same dive all the time. But it's good to, I think it's definitely good to mix things up a bit.
Yeah, I think if you're just a recreational diver, then it's variety that makes it.
Yeah, I think that's definitely true for the quarries and the lakes, etc. I think for dives in the sea, if you can get to the coast, actually it's slightly different there, because I was of the same opinion. Oh, do I really want to dive the same place twice? We went there recently, can we go somewhere else? But actually I soon realized that every dive's different in the ocean. That, you know,
definitely,
it's just, it changes, and the wildlife that you might encounter might be completely different another day.
Yeah, different seasons as well. Yeah, you can't say anything is going to be the same in the sea. No. It's even like when you go kayaking or paddleboarding or swimming, it's always different. It's never the same.
Yeah.
You know, and the annual pilgrimage to the farms, you know, it's always different. There's, you know, we see something different, see something new, you know, and I never get bored with going up there.
Yeah. One that I've not done yet. So we'll have to.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, not done the Foreign Islands yet.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Obviously done Lundy a couple of times now.
Yeah.
Lundy, but we'll definitely have to get the Foreigns on the list.
Oh yeah, you definitely should. Yeah, it's really good. Yeah. The seals are a little bit standoffish, unlike Lundy. Lundy, they're definitely more friendly at Lundy. But I don't know why that was. That before COVID, they were always on you the whole time. Yeah. But after COVID, they just changed. I don't know why.
Yeah, no, it's definitely on the list. Definitely on the list. And yeah, I mean, it's a bit further to go for us. Obviously, significant drive, probably not too dissimilar to you guys, I suspect.
That's 7-8 hours, isn't it? Drive. Yeah. But it's not a bad drive, to be honest. It's not like going to the far reaches of Scotland. The roads system is fine. It's all dual carriageway, motorway, isn't it? Until the very end. Yeah.
I'd like to get out to Scotland as well, because there's some fantastic diving up there.
Loch Long, yes, we can recommend that one as well, can't we?
Yeah, Twin Piers. Yeah.
Twin Piers. Yeah. But no, lots to explore up in Scotland. And actually, my the DM I dive with and dive buddy Alex he's a Scotsman and desperate to get us up there to dive. So we're gonna have to do it.
There we go.
Yeah.
Right, we better do some set questions, haven't we?
We had. Right. So one of our first ones is, what takes you out of your comfort zone? Doesn't have to be diving, but what is your comfort zone?
You'll laugh at this one. Believe it or not, is heights.
Really? For a caver?
Yeah, believe it or not, it's actually heights. I'm really not great with heights. And
are we talking on ladders?
No. So generally, I'm not too bad. In fact, I'm fine when I'm clipped into a harness and on a rope. I've learned to trust the kit. I mean, we did a big abseil and prusik in the Peak District cave called Knotlow Cavern, which is part mine, part natural cave. And there's a 210 foot engine shaft that we split into two groups, and we went in the one end, the natural end of the cave, and rigged several pitches, whereas the other guys rigged the engine shaft, the other end, and then we did a crossover trip, and we came back up this 210 foot engine shaft. So when I say I'm scared of heights, that one certainly got the nerves jangling, but I was clipped in, I have my harness, I trust the kit. It's when we start free climbing stuff that there's no rope protection, or you're bridging out over big holes in the ground, that one slip, and the guys I cave with used to call it Dave's disco knee. The old knees would start trembling. So the
old knees start to knot.
Yeah, absolutely. So definitely heights. That's what takes me out of my comfort zone.
Wow.
Yeah.
There we go. Excellent. Okay, and let's take 3 people diving. Who are you going to take? Or caving?
Definitely diving, I think.
Okay.
So I'd love to dive with Sylvia Earle, because she's just obviously a legend, and kind of with the interest that I've got in kind of the natural history side of things, it would be a fantastic conversation after the dive. understanding what you saw, the ecosystems and how they all interact and the various animals and creatures we saw. So yeah, I'd love to go with Sylvia Earle. I think the next would be former guests of yours, so Christina and Kevin.
Oh yeah,
Christina Donato, I know, popular choice, but again, linked to the kind of the natural history side of things, the marine life side of things. I'd love to dive and experience diving with some of the sharks.
Yeah,
because they're just majestic animals. I mean, it'd be awesome, I think, to be on a dive, and experience that. And Kevin could give me some tips with my camera while I'm down there as well, I think. So give me some tuition. So that would be fantastic. And then I think for me, the last person really, again, would be probably somebody who could influence the environment really and make changes to the the way we pollute our oceans, etc. So I've got the lady's name down, bear with me a second. Emma Reynolds, that's her name, who's head of Emma Reynolds is head of the Environment, Food and Rural Affairs for the government.
Oh, okay.
So it would be great to take Emma on a dive and show her, the underwater world and the damage that's being done and by the pollution, that happens year in, year out. We hear of all these water companies that legally discharge.
Out here,
angry water.
Absolutely, go straight into the rivers, which flow straight into the oceans every time we have heavy rain and stuff like that. And the damage that's just being done is irreparable.
They discharged a whole load of sewage last week into Lowestoft, didn't they?
There won't be any swimming happening anytime soon. It's just horrific.
And nothing's done.
Yeah.
And thank goodness for Surface Against Sewage as well, because they've got a really good website as well, that anyone who wants to go swimming or whatever, that's a good website to go on and get to know. But you're right. How do these companies get away with doing what they do?
How are people not being held to account? I just don't get it. And I think the problem is as well is the thing with the ocean is people don't see what's underneath it. They see that blue surface, that mirror when it's calm, and it is exactly that. It's a mirror. It reflects, everything off. So people don't see what's underneath it. And I know, we've often been at, Babbacombe, for example, or even Swanage, and the general public might stop you and say, "Oh, what have you seen? What's under there? What's down there?" And we start showing them the photos of the camera and things, and they say, "Wow, that's really down there." And because people can't see it, it's out of sight, it's out of mind.
And the rivers, because only last year, so where I live in Bungay, the next village is Ditchingham, and the River Waveney winds its way round through Ditchingham, and the houses the people who live in the houses along the River Waveney were complaining about the amount of animal, human waste they were seeing all come down the river. And sanitary towels, you name it, all stuff like that, all going down the river. And the Environment Agency do test it, but they were finding it was high in all these pollutants, and E. coli and stuff is in the river. That's why you've got to really be careful for people who want to swim in the rivers and things. To monitor that Surface Against Sewage website, because they put, when there's an outbreak and stuff like that, they put that on their website. And last year, that was really bad.
It's terrible. We've got the River Wye just over the bridge and the Usk, both of which have been terribly polluted. There's a lot of talk about chicken farms in the area and the waste, be it the runoff from the chicken farms, and absolutely, what were thriving salmon rivers, and known for the salmon, are now just been decimated by the pollutants that are running off the land straight into the water and just killing everything. It's
a sorry state.
It
especially
is
in a Western, quite advanced country as what we've got. That really shouldn't be happening. Really.
Well, I guess the question I always ask myself is, would people allow it if it was happening on the land, if they could see it?
No.
Would you not get the uproar? And yet the oceans, occupy what 70% of the planet. They cover 70% of the planet's surface, and yet because we can't see what's beneath it and what's going on underneath it, it therefore becomes less of a problem, for many people. And it's just a crying shame, really.
Yeah, just got to keep shouting about it, and
as diverse of and we've got to kind of share it through the images, the photographs, the footage, the video footage and stuff that we take. What an amazing world it is out there, and try and share those people who don't dive, what's down there and what's at risk. That's it. It's what, and there's just so much we don't know about our oceans yet.
Undiscovered. There's so much more to learn.
And there's life that we've not yet discovered, that we will never discover, because if we're not careful, we'll kill it before we even know about it.
Yeah. So on that note, if you could have a billboard, what would you put on your billboard to the world, whether it be an image, a statement, a video? What message do you want to get out there to the whole world?
It would be exactly that. I think probably an image of a thriving reef, beautiful colors with the the fish and stuff on it, but I think with unfortunately litter amongst it, and the plastic straws, bottles, whatever it might be, on the billboard. And then I think probably a Lord Kitchener type image with you can fix this. It's within our control to fix this, and the slogan, you can fix this.
Very good.
I like that. I've got another question I was just going to ask you, actually, before we sort of wrap things up. Is what advice would you have for someone who's thinking about getting in the water and diving?
Just go for it. Absolutely go for it. One of my biggest regrets about diving is that I didn't do it sooner. That I wish I'd done it so much earlier in life. I had this perception that it was too expensive, quite difficult, etc. But actually, it's not. You can spread the cost. You can make it affordable.
It's cheap, really, if you think about it, because if you buy the right kit and you buy well, it lasts you. My dry suit, 10 years old plus now. And for the amount of my regs, although I haven't regularly service them, they're 10 years old. So it's cheap, really, when you work it out and you add it up through the divide it over the amount of dives and years.
No, absolutely. I'd say just absolutely go for it, and don't let things hold you back as well. Obviously, I've had my cancer diagnosis. There might be a lot of people out there who think that having cancer, you cannot dive. That's not correct. It's absolutely the opposite. Clearly, it depends on the individual's kind of own well-being and what types of cancer or illness or whatever it might be that they've got. But you shouldn't let these things hold you back in your mind. If you want to do it, go and explore it. Go and talk to an instructor. Go and talk to a dive doctor. Find out whether you can actually do it. And if you can do it, go for it. Absolutely go for it. Don't let things hold you back. Life's too short.
And we're so lucky in the UK because we've got so many good dive doctors, and they're all specialists in what they do. You can't go to your normal surgery doctor. All these dive doctors, like our friends at Midlands Dive Chamber, they're awesome. They're amazing. And, they've got answers for all the questions that anybody in, a different situation, go and talk to them.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. but yeah, that's my advice. Just go for it. Don't hold back. Life's too short.
Yeah. I think that's good advice, because I think the expecting your local GP to know about diving is probably a far stretch, because unless they actually dive themselves, chances are they won't understand what's that whole thing of what pressure can do to drugs and stuff like that. So it's, if anyone is going through something and they want to get back in the water, is one, speak to dive center, two, find a good diving practice who understand that stuff.
Absolutely. And it's about keeping yourself fit and healthy as well. I mean, I'm a firm believer in that. I've always been open with the group that I dive with. They know about my health condition, etc. But with that has come for me a bit of a responsibility to make sure I'm as fit as possible and as fit as I can be. So they've got the confidence that I've got their back, and I'm fit.
Do you run? What do you do? How do you keep fit?
I used to run an awful lot. Actually, I've had to stop more recently because of a back injury. But I ran quite seriously for about 15 years or so. But these days I'm on a road bike. I also weight train. We've got rowing machines, etc., in the garage, and so on and so forth. So mixture really of doing some weights and cardio, because it's the cardiovascular stuff, obviously, that's really important with living. Making sure your lungs and your heart are fit and healthy, so that you can off gas when you're ascending, and so on and so forth. But again, it's been an area that I've been interested in because of my own health challenges. And try to read up on and understand as best as possible how to protect yourself as a diver and do the right things to try and reduce the risk for DCI, things like that.
Yeah, that's good. Good advice. Yeah. So if people want to find out more about you on your social media, your YouTube channel, what are the places they need to look for?
Yeah, absolutely. So as I say, I'm into a bit of amateur photography and filmmaking. So you can find me on Instagram, and my handle is cavecrawler101. Predominantly all dive video, dive footage or photos on there these days. There is some caving on there further back, and we still get out caving now and then. So when we do, the camera always comes underground. So I'm on Insta. I've got a YouTube channel as well, small YouTube channel, the Cave Crawler, at the Cave Crawler. You can find me on there. Lots of dive videos. More recently, there's some footage from the trips with diving with angel sharks in Lanzarote. I'm just working on the second piece of footage from Lanzarote now, but there's lots on the wrecks that we dive along the south coast, and I try and do a little snippet at the start, just explaining a little bit about the wreck and how it got there, a little bit the history. Don't go into too much detail, but again, just try and set the scene a little bit. So there's the channel there. If people are interested about my journey with pseudomyxoma, this rare cancer that I suffer with, you can also find a blog that I wrote as I went through that journey, because at the time there was very little support for patients with the condition. Thankfully now there's a thriving charity, Pseudomyxoma Survivor. I'll give them a plug as well, because they've been fantastic. I actually help with the guys sort of set that up, and I buddy a number of patients. We offer a buddy service, so
there's more understanding about this particular cancer now.
Absolutely, yes. I mean, back in the day, when I was first diagnosed, it was there was very little. But so I wrote a blog on that, and that's called cavecrawlerstory.blogspot.com. You can find me on there, and that talks about my journey with pseudomyxoma. And then, of course, Facebook, although I tend to do a bit less on Facebook these days, and I share the page with the wife, because I don't tend to do too much. Yeah, absolutely. So you'll find us at Dave and Tracy Mason.
Yeah. Great. Okay, well, we'll put all those links and to the charity as well into the show notes. And what's your club, your dive club called?
We are Dreamscape divers.
Dreamscape, yeah. Okay, that's perfect. Yeah, so we'll get them all linked in and all tagged in when we do our social media as well. So yeah, everybody can find you.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, it's been great having you on the BiG Scuba podcast. And we've met you a few times, and it's you've been with us from the very start. So thank you for your support as well.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You're more than welcome, and keep doing what you do. And it's been great for me as I did my diving journey. Listening to all the various guests, you pick up all kinds of hints and tips and nuggets and good bits of information, and it's been fantastic. So it has been a real help. So thank you for doing what you do as well, and it's been great to be on.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Well, thank you for being on the BiG Scuba podcast.
Thank you. Bye.
Yay, well done.
Yeah. Is that all right?
That was brilliant. Yeah, really, really good, because it was just such a relaxed conversation and it just flowed really well. So yeah, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, really good.
I've got to be honest, I was a bit kind of like, imposter syndrome, because I'm very aware that I'm walking in the footsteps of giants here with some of the
we've got to have the full spectrum of people on, because if all we ever had was deep tech divers talking about my settings and my rebreathers, it'd be so boring, so that's why we try and open it up for everybody of all levels, from beginners all the way through to, there's a guy who I'm going to approach. I was reading his just about 3:30 this morning, and I was reading his post on Facebook. I haven't mentioned it to you yet, and he was down, I don't know who he is, I've never heard of him, but somehow we're friends on Facebook, which doesn't really limit it, to be honest. And he was talking about an issue he had on his Halcyon rebreather at 160 meters down yesterday. And I think he's done some diving with deep wreck diver Don Robinson. I don't know him, and I don't really know much about him, but I just quickly reading something about, and I seem to remember reading something about him last week and he was doing some deep diving. So we're going to get him on as well. And we have to be open to everybody, from people who just started diving, people who just
not even diving. It's just giving them that inspiration. And we did an interview recently, and he was so nervous, and he's thinking, why? There's no need to be, but he came over really well. He'd got notes and everything. And you think, this, we just want to have a conversation about diving and about people's journey and about what they want to put out there to other people. And everybody's story has got something that somebody else is going to learn from or be inspired by.
Yeah. Good.
That's the best way to be.
Yeah, absolutely. No, thank you very much for having me on. It's it's been really good.
Brilliant. Yeah, you've done well.
Yeah. Well, thanks again for coming on.
Yeah.
You've been wonderful.
No worries. Thank you for having
really
me.
Good.
That's all right.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye, Dave. Bye.
So that was Dave Mason, the Cave Crawler. I want to say thank you very much for him to come on and give us some of his time, and hope you enjoyed that and listened to his journey all the way through. And hey, life doesn't always go in a straight path all the way, does it?
No, it throws curveballs, but he's worked around it, and he's filling his life as much as he can with what he can do at the moment. So
and if you're going through something similar, we'll put a link on there about the charity that he mentioned, and where you can get some help and advice. So and how you can get back in the water.
Yes, and also about getting these dive medicals. They're really important, because having some ailment or cancer diagnosis doesn't mean you can't dive. There are experts out there that can look at your case,
give you proper advice, not advice what you read online.
No
get proper advice. So
but it was great to hear where he's gone from dry caving right through to getting wet.
That's Yeah, caving is good, isn't it? I did enjoy Wookiee Hole, didn't you?
Yeah, I loved it. Yeah, because you've got the physical side of it as well, and you never know quite what's around the corner. Like us.
Literally.
Yeah. So that's another recommendation to anybody listening to the podcast. Look up Wookiee Hole and go and try the caving experience.
That was a good time, wasn't it?
Yeah, overalls on, hard hat.
About 3 hours, wasn't it?
An
afternoon, wasn't it?
Yeah. Make sure you've got some decent walking boots because our trainers got very muddy.
But they provide you with overalls and stuff like that.
Yeah, hard hats, harnesses. I think we had gloves as well, didn't we?
Gloves.
Yes. Yeah. So, but yeah, look them up. I'll put a link in the show notes as well. And definitely it's a good thing to do. All ages, all abilities. I think, if you can climb ladders and that sort of thing, then yeah, give it a go.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
And it's good hearing about, some of the trips he's done, some of the wrecks he's done, and Angel Sharks.
Yes, I'll need to put a link to the Angel Shark Trust. Yeah.
So all good. We've got to say, thanks for him coming on, and thanks for Narked at 90 for sponsoring us as usual. So that all helps to make these things happen.
Yes, yeah. And don't forget to give us a review on whatever podcast platform you're listening to, whether it's Spotify, Apple. All these reviews, follows and likes help the old algorithm and help us keep doing what we're doing.
And thank you for whoever made the purchase on Circle & Co. Because while we were talking, I don't know if you noticed, it popped up the notification that somebody's made a purchase.
Yes.
And used the BiG Scuba code to save themselves some money when they bought a flask or a mug or something.
Yeah, Circular & Co. make stainless steel water bottles and reusable coffee cups made out of recycled materials, whether it's bubblegum, marine plastic, shoes, coffee cartons, but they've all got a story behind them, all the different colours. And they're proving quite popular at the moment.
Soon be, yeah. And also summer's here. Waterhaul do sunglasses, things like that. Something else that we can offer you a code for to save some money. And McConks paddleboards. Good time to get on the paddleboard, get down the river or get onto the coastline. As long as make sure means of contact, check the weather, check the
buoyancy aid.
Make sure you're wearing a buoyancy aid as well.
Yeah,
and don't get in trouble.
Yeah, and we've mentioned Narked at 90. Again, if you use the link in our show notes, then it's all good. You've got the whole wealth of their stock, whether you need equipment for your technical diving or recreational diving.
And as we are recording, right at this moment, the Perdix 3 is due out. They are taking pre-orders.
Yes, yeah. So click that link, Narked at 90, in the show notes, and that will take you over to their website. We're
recording in mid-June, and at the moment, the Perdix 3, if you're listening to this in 2027, Perdix 3 is probably out, and I hope you're enjoying that. Yeah. Did you get it from Narked at 90? Let us know. But if you listen to this straight away, then the Perdix 3 is coming out. Make sure you get to Narked at 90 pre-order.
Yes, yeah. And as we say, all these episodes, we've got over 200. They're all evergreen. You can go back and listen to them. There's no sort of timestamps on them as such. You're going to listen to the guests and there's always something to learn and stories to be told.
Yeah. So I think we kind of covered everything.
Yep, I think so. Yep.
So it's a goodbye from you.
Yes, goodbye from me, goodbye from you.
It was
the BiG Scuba Podcast. Thanks for downloading.